87, absolutely the last day of the year. I have a couple of misguided souls with me in the studio here. Some people from my hometown, or my hometown area from Philadelphia, who have come up with a product that, frankly, should set the world on fire, but the world is stupid. I have in the studio with me Fran Cooper, who heads up Cooper Concepts, and they have a new product out here, and it's rather appropriate that it be introduced in the Tampa Bay area on my program, of course, because I've been trying to tell people about the benefits of eating ice cream and pretzels. Now, I work with a bunch of fools, Fran. I mean, we got into almost, a heated argument this morning down in the programming office. The news director saying, "What? Oh, ice cream and pretzels. Yuck. Oh, Philly, it's cream cheese and pickles. That's where it's at." Tell me about your new product. I'll take that off your hands. Oh, yes.
Just the uninformed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we have is a pretzel cone.
Mm-hmm.
A new kind of ice cream cone, combining pretzels and ice cream together. And I know, Bob, that you have talked about eating pretzels and ice cream. And being from the Philadelphia area, you know that that's a very popular combination. It's been around for ages and ages. Everybody does it.
Really tastes like pretzels.
Well, thank you.
Truly does.
That's what it is. It's just what it is.
I mean, everybody should eat ice cream and pretzels together.
I know.
Of course, they have brought me some ice cream to put in the pretzel cone. And, of course, it is the proper kind of ice cream, chocolate.
Of course.
Which is the only kind.
Well, of course, it's great with chocolate.
Wait a second. You seem to be hesitating.
Well, it's just whatever your favorite ice cream is the only kind.
No, that's not the point at all, Fran. The only kind of ice cream, the proper kind of ice cream to eat is chocolate.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Well, I tend to agree with you. That's my
thing. Well. Look who has just walked into the studio. Whenever free food is around, you can expect to find Norman.
Well, yeah, but see, I've already put the final word on this.
The final word? I thought you were going on vacation.
Well, no, I'm not
Aren't you
going
out of
on
the
vacation
building?
when there's free food.
Almost 11 minutes after 12.
And I have to really check this out, because initially, without my own test here, I would say that pretzel cones and ice cream is a communist plot.
You're from Ohio. What the hell do you know?
It's communism. It's actually communism. You put salt on ice cream, it's probably a communist plot. I suspect the ice cream's fluoridated. And the idea is to contaminate our precious bodily fluids.
You probably like corn cones and soybean ice cream.
No, actually, ice cream on a stick made with oak sticks.
No, give me a break.
But I have to check this out. I suspect a communist plot.
I had nothing to do with the ice cream.
I suspect a communist plot. It's contamination of our precious bodily fluids.
Oh, give me a break, Norman. Now, go on vacation, man. These are things that you don't know anything about. These are things that you're just not qualified to pass on.
I'm a person who's open to learning here. That's why I'm in the room here, to try this out.
Giving some.
Okay. Give me the ice cream, Bob, or I'm not going to leave.
Jeez.
I won't go on vacation if I don't get the ice cream.
Good. Please, double dip then in that case. Maybe we'll stay 2 weeks.
Well, I'll try vanilla.
You want vanilla? Okay.
See how subtle I was about that? Wasn't I subtle?
Are these available locally yet?
They will be very shortly.
Where?
I just happened to bring a few places along that will carry them.
Isn't that convenient?
Isn't that? Big Olaf Creamery.
Could I see the payola clause in your, can we talk about payola? Federal violation.
If you want to sue me for accepting a free ice cream cone, you go right ahead.
Hey, this company operates
I just want to see the judge that'll take this into court. You go right ahead.
We got some here in Hillsborough County, Bob. We got some.
Well, we have enough for everybody. So
okay, you were telling me where these are available.
Big Olaf Creamery in St. Armand Circle in Sarasota, and Siesta Key in Sarasota, and Gulf Gate Mall in Sarasota. Flavors and Favors in Clearwater Beach. Snack Attack, Tampa Bay Center, and Larry's Ice Cream and Snow Circle, Tampa. And also, I just wanted to say to the people, if anybody who has any ice cream or yogurt shops and would like to carry these cones, they are being distributed by Super Pretzel of Central Florida, and they're in Largo. And
Super Pretzel of Central Florida in Largo. Will they be available for home consumption in supermarkets?
And not at the present time, but we will be.
Why not?
Well, we're working on that. We will be very shortly. Right now, we're just going to be in ice cream and yogurt shops.
What's the matter with the other jerks in this market that didn't sign up for this? This is where it's at.
I know.
I must tell you, it's not a communist plot. I've changed my mind.
It's delicious. Ice cream and pretzels are a perfect combination.
It's not too bad.
I mean, you wouldn't believe the buffoons down the other end of the building this morning. Oh, ice cream and pretzels, what's this? Oh, this is terrible. Oh, what an awful combination.
It's going to be an acquired taste, and I will have to say this, Bob.
It's not an acquired taste. It's a natural marriage.
In the spirit of experimentation, I will try 4, 5, or 6 more.
I mean, Yvonne Payton this morning walked in and saw the pretzel cone on the desk back there, and she said, what's that? Now, I said, it's an ice cream cone made out of pretzels. And she says, that's awful. I said, well, have you ever tried it? She says, no, I never, it's awful. I never would. People are sick.
I will try. I'll try 6 or 8 more, and I'm beginning to come around now.
I mean, I'm sure that everyone in the Philadelphia area eats pretzels and ice cream together.
Everybody.
And I have been on a lifelong campaign, to tell people about tasty cakes, to tell people about cheese steaks.
Absolutely.
It's hopeless. I mean, these people that move down here, these are brain-damaged people. They don't know what is good. You can't tell them what is good. They're into things like
cheesesteaks are a communist plot.
Cheesesteaks smothered in onion with Kraft white American cheese on top and just the right chewy roll. It's where it's at, man.
Bob, I will stop saying that cheesesteaks are a communist plot if you'll try a 5-way coney.
I beg your pardon. I'm a married man. Can't you see the ring on my hand? I can't get into that kind of stuff.
No.
Where were you last year?
This is not an animal.
We're married Mary.
This is something else good to eat. Skyline chili.
Skyline chili. Well, it's okay.
I'm going to listen. I have to leave now because I have to try 6 or 8 or 10 more of these pretzel cones to pass complete judgment on them.
Whoa! In walks Payton with her little cone. All you have to do is give her ice cream. She's already got her own cone.
Just for you, I'm going to taste this.
Just for me, she's going. Oh, what a personal sacrifice.
Jesus, Bob, I don't want you to think of me as totally unintelligent because I've never eaten ice cream and pretzels.
Well, I mean, anybody that has it. Where are you from?
I'm from here.
You're from Florida? Oh, that's the problem.
Thanks, Bob. But you didn't like French fries and milkshakes. Same diff, Bob.
You didn't say French fries and milkshakes. You said French fries and ice cream.
So now what is a milkshake?
Well, a milkshake is milk and ice cream. Beat up.
Beat up. Same difference.
It's the salt and sweet combination.
That's great.
That's what's great about it.
I won't like this. I'll probably love this. And if I don't, you'll be the first to know.
No, you'll love it.
Yvonne has just dipped some chocolate ice cream into the pretzel cone, which is an excellent choice. There is chocolate and vanilla available. And she did go for the chocolate. That is, yes, you do get 3 bonus points for that. She is about to bite into it. Be careful because, it does break.
Okay. Great. Ice cream everywhere.
Momentarily, she's putting another scoop of ice cream on there.
Well, I have to fill it up, don't you? Isn't that what you...
Well, yes, you should fill it up. That's true. She's just pointing out that she has to fill it up. Momentarily,
we're all waiting.
She will just, any moment now, she will be biting into the pretzel cone filled with delicious chocolate ice cream, which I should also point out is just the right temperature and consistency.
Somehow we just managed to do
She's now licking the ice cream and still has managed to avoid the cone.
Okay, wait.
Here we go. A Florida-bred girl. I mean, I can hear the crunching in the background. I don't know if the audience can.
I don't want to crunch to the audience. That's rude.
Well, I've been sitting here crunching. Well. She's hesitating. She's hesitating at this point. But you must understand this is someone born and bred in Florida.
All right, now stop
brother.
That. You have to work with me every day.
No, I don't have to work with you every day. I'm a big star. I can get somebody else. I get Connie Chung in here, probably.
I doubt it. I'm the best you're going to get.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, come on
Try some.
Wait a second. Aren't you back for your second, Teddy, for your second one? Didn't I see you filling up before?
It's quite good, Bob.
Well,
now we got plenty for you. Ran out of ice cream.
My producer is now in here. There's no one to answer the phones, no one to run commercials. Technically...
No one to do the news.
Oh, right, no one to do the news. Everyone's just in here eating ice cream. Carreras, what is your verdict? Or can I just assume from your coming back for a second helping that it's acceptable?
It's very unique, and it's quite good.
Very unique and quite good.
Oh, thank you.
That's the word I was looking for.
Unique. But you don't like it.
I don't dislike it.
Would you like some grits, maybe? You know, maybe we could get some grits and form them into a shape of a cone and put some ice cream in that. You know, you'd feel at home.
Thanks, Bob. I'll remember that when you're not on the air, okay?
Pretzels are where it's at. You'll learn to love them.
Yes, you will. You just have to try them.
I just have to. You have to acclimate to this taste, I think.
I don't think so. It's just a natural combination. It's kind of like, you know, gold and silver. They just go together.
Yeah, but it was like I told you before. I'm the kind of person that takes the salt off my pretzels and the salt off my margarita glass, and I'm not.
You take the salt off your pretzels. Well, there's not that much salt on them.
It's just a normal amount. It's not real salty.
It's not really salty, but it's a real different taste. It's real good.
Fran, where did you come up with this idea?
Just what you were saying about eating pretzels and ice cream together. We always did that, sticking our pretzel sticks in a bowl of ice cream, and then we just sat around and said, why doesn't somebody make a cone? Eat it all in one hand. You don't need two hands to eat it. And that's how we came up with the idea. We went to a lot of engineers and food formulators to try to come up with the shape of pretzels don't go into this shape. Obviously, you know, it's and it was very difficult.
How did you get the first cone made?
A lot by hand in my kitchen.
You make your own pretzels?
No, that's how I got my first one made.
Oh.
Playing around in the kitchen with formulas and things like that. Went to machine companies and engineering companies, and they came up with machinery that could produce these cones. And then that's the way we really got started.
How long have you been in business now?
We've been in the market about a year and a half.
Catching on in Philadelphia?
It's doing fabulous. We're all over the northeastern part of the country, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, all that whole area.
But you feel pretty smart for being the person from the Philadelphia area to think of making a cone that tastes like a pretzel.
I think other people have thought about it, but they never really executed it. That was really it.
Now I'm just waiting for, tasty pie a la mode.
Listen, you never know.
Ice cream and the tasty pie all in the one little package would be great.
That would be.
Fran, I thank you very, very much for bringing in the pretzel cone. It was a treat, a lifelong dream come true.
Thank you very much, Bob.
As you can see, it's going to be difficult with some people who just have no taste whatsoever.
I know, but they just have to try it and they will see.
Well, I give you my word. Simply, I have no financial interest in this, expect no financial interest, but I have been trying to convince people to eat pretzels and ice cream on this program for a long time, and I shall continue to do that.
That's what I heard. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Fran Cooper, Cooper Concepts, the pretzel cone. Very briefly again, where are they available?
Big old...
Did I tell you I'm Bob Lassiter? I don't really think I did, and that this is the talk of Tampa Bay, WFLA, and that I'm here every day, Monday through Saturday, noon until 4, unless there's a football game like there is tomorrow, but that's another story. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. We are, almost obligated in this business on the 31st of December to do kind of a year-end show. I'm not really going to do a year-end show. We're just going to have a year-end wrap, not a year-end wrap-up. That's, kind of wrap as in wrap, not wrap as in wrap up. But, I would be remiss, absolutely, totally, completely remiss if I didn't touch on some of the highlights of the year, of course. Basically, being a selfish person, I shall touch on my highlights and, one or two others. Obviously, my top stories, and I'll do 3 this year. Lassiter top stories. First and foremost, of course, would be the acquisition of Mrs. Lassiter, the ever-popular Mary. First on the list. Secondly, coming over to FLA. Probably the smartest damn thing I ever did. Thirdly, the Times, the Trib, and the Clearwater Sun that did those articles last November. Personally, my top 3 stories. Very, very flattering. The top shows. Well, the first one would have to be the $50,000 giveaway, which was done January the 1st, 1987, when I was back at the other station, and that's where I came on and offered to give anybody that called $50,000 in cash, and people called and actually thought it was true. Other top shows would be the show where we tried to get Jacob dates. That would be show number 2 for me. And the other top show in the top 3 for 1987, why Lassiter should leave the market, where we had over 70 people who never listened to this show, who despise me eager to call up and tell me why I should leave. There were Lassiter's top news stories, which really totally disagree with yours, at least according to the Dick Norman program. The economy and the stock market crash, number one top story. I appreciate that most of you don't understand yet just how big a story that is. Top story number two for 1987, the Iran-Contra hearings. Again, one of the things that most of you don't seem to understand the significance of. You will someday, I promise you. And then the PTL scandal, not so much for the gossip value, and my God, it was fun, wasn't it? But just demonstrating, proving beyond the shadow of a doubt how gullible and stupid people can be. There were the great non-stories of 1987, in Lassiter's humble opinion. Baby Jessica, the little girl that got caught in the abandoned shaft. I don't understand. I really don't understand why that's a top story. It's a tragedy. Tragedy with a more or less happy ending, but give me a break. The services tax in Florida. That's a great non-story, a great non-issue. I mean, here we are, a state that has bills to pay. And probably for one of the few times in history, a state legislature came up with a form of a tax that hardly touched, for all practical purposes, did not touch those least able to pay, and put the burden on those best able to pay, and those best able to pay convinced those least able to pay that it was an unfair tax. And so they're going to replace it with a truly unfair tax. And then, of course, the third great non-story of the year, Gary Hart and Donna Rice, as though it really made any difference whatsoever. There were great personal achievements for 1987. My campaign to warn you of brain-damaged snowbirds, making it acceptable to talk about brain-damaged snowbirds. There is, of course, a conspiracy in Florida that kept us all from talking about this for fear that these people wouldn't come back, which is, of course, the very thing that most of us would enjoy the most, that they not come back. There was, of course, my personal recipe for ice cream and pretzels, which now has taken off on a new route with the advent of the pretzel cone. And, of course, there was the expose of the WFLE management team and how they treat us here at the station, as is personified by this ugly, uncomfortable, loud chair that they make me sit in. And there were the ongoing pursuits, not necessarily started in 1987, but continued in 1987, and I promise you they will be continued in 1988, trying to teach you people about tasty cakes. What does it take to teach you people about tasty cakes? I'll never understand. Trying to raise your consciousness concerning the minimum wage, that will continue in 1988. And trying to make you ask, concerning virtually anything, does that make any sense? When you're told something, when you hear something, trying to just automatically make you ask, does that make any sense? But like I said, it's just going to be a year-end wrap, not a year-end wrap-up. You may not realize it yet, but 1987 is a year that will be remembered. People will ask you later in life, were you alive in 87? What was it like when such and such happened? I promise you that. So anyway, I'm sitting around the office this morning, and I'm going through various different newspapers, including USA Today, and they had something, the ins and outs of 1988. The list of things that will be in and the list of things that will be out. Well, their list is really kind of silly. It starts out with pastels will be in, bright colors will be out. Slicked down hair for men will be in. Moosed up hair will be out. Liz and anyone, meaning Elizabeth Taylor, Sean and Madonna will be out, but Liz and anyone will be in. Liz Taylor, give me a break! Further on down, they say the Rat Pack will be in. The Brat Pack will be out. The Rat Pack? Who in the hell wants to see Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin and Sinatra? These people have no idea what they're talking about. So I said, throw that away. Get it out of my sight. And I've come up with my own Lassiter's list of what will be in and what will be out for 1988. I'll go over that with you in just a moment.
Channel 32, some of the nicest people to work for. They're great people. And they would stand behind me, no pun intended, no matter what protest came in. So that was not the reason it ended. It ended because the station could not afford to do that kind of live programming on a continuing basis. Not because of the mooning. If anything, they were happy it happened because of the $1 million worth of publicity it gave the station. Even though some of it was negative, it certainly got a lot of publicity. It's still in the paper today and yesterday and Sunday. The Tribune wrote it up again. In the last 5 days, it's been in the paper 3 times, and this happened back in February. I don't know what news is when that seems to be the top 3 or 4 stories of the year. But anyway, to clarify it for the last time, David, I hope you're listening. The mooning had nothing to do with the ending of the TV show. In fact, at the Christmas party last night, I shouldn't say this, but I guess it's in my head, they have asked if I would consider coming back to do another TV show on Channel 32 in conjunction with what I'm doing here. So, they would not be asking that if it was because of the mooning being fired. I was not fired for that. Just wanted to clarify it. So, I'm sure it won't change some people's belief. They'll say, he's just saying that. But that's the truth.
In for 1988. That will definitely be in. What is out for 1988 is mooning. But then there was only one guy in town that wanted to do that anyway, and it was never in. Potato salad. Potato salad, of course, the Lassiter recipe. That will be in for 1988. People all over the area will be eating Lassiter potato salad. Sushi is out for 1988. Forget sushi. Fords. Fords are in, according to Lassiter, for 1988. Toyotas are out. Get rid of them. Irma is in for 1988. Jacob is out. Over and done with. Peter Rocchio is in for 1988. Toledo Weaver is out. Now, many of you don't know who Peter Rocchio is, and that is your fault. Peter Rocchio does the program called Dining Around on WFLA. It comes on at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoons. Now, most of you are probably sitting there saying, Dining Around, a food show, yucko, restaurant reviews, phooey, phooey, phooey. Well, that's what I would have said, too. But first of all, Peter Rocchio is a trip, an absolute trip. He's basically a visual trip, and of course that doesn't really communicate very well over the radio band, but that's okay. I'll tell you now, he bears a very strong resemblance to the man who played Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street, the original version. Peter looks a great deal like him. For 1988, Toledo Weaver over, at the Q10 Jive, he is out. Give it a rest already, huh? Brain-damaged snowbirds are in for 1988. I mean, people will be trying to go out on the street and find brain-damaged snowbirds and bring them home for parties, bring them home for personal amusement, whatever it might be. Get them to stand around on the front lawn for the amusement of the neighbors. If you can find a brain-damaged snowbird, you will be in for 1988. Native Floridians are out. I mean, how many times do we have to hear, "Hi, I was born and raised in Florida"? I mean, what do you want us to do? Take up a collection? Brain-damaged snowbirds in, Native Floridians out. WFLA is in for 1988. Plop, as always, out. White American cheese. Now, that is Kraft White American cheese. Not the yellow American cheese, but the white American cheese. Purchased in a large hunk. Don't have it sliced. That is in for 1988. Brie is out. It's too damned expensive anyway. Jimmy Swaggart is in for 1988. The Pope is out. Jimmy Swaggart's where it's at. Philadelphia cheesesteaks smothered in onions. They are in for 1988. Veggies and dip are out. Gag me with a spoon. Lassiter Mania is in for 1988. Subhuman pigs are out as always. Now, they also went on in USA Today to do their list of things that are in for infinity. This will give you, vague ideas to where these brain-damaged people are coming from. These are things that are always in. At the top of the list, champagne. Champagne. Do you know anybody that really likes champagne? This stuff is awful. Awful. Ella Fitzgerald. Well, come on. Ella Fitzgerald, that's obvious. Of course, Ella's in, always is. Gray flannel slacks. Yeah, okay, I'll go along with that. Oreo cookies. Oreo cookies are good, especially if they're fresh. Well, actually, only if they're fresh and if the milk is really cold. But they're not really something that's in. You know, Oreo cookies are something that you eat in the privacy of your own home so other people don't see you eating them. Brass Weegians. I don't even know what they are. Or make that Bass Weegians. I still don't know what they are. Diamonds. Oh, great. Here goes the diamond cartel again, trying to convince people that diamonds are desirable. They are not. They're dumb and stupid. Cashmere. Well, of course, cashmere is in. What's this? Bass Weegians are what basses used to make little basses. Thanks a lot, Teddy. Paul Newman is in forever. Yeah, right, sure. Disneyland in for infinity, according to the USA Today. Gone with the Wind. One of the most grossly overrated films ever. Barbie, I assume they're talking about the Barbie doll, in for infinity. Yeah, right. And baseball. Well, baseball is in, and it always will be. But, while I didn't have a great deal of time, I did jot down a few things that are in for infinity with Lassiter. Chocolate ice cream and gold. Now, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than some of their stuff, doesn't it? I mean, champagne and diamonds. No. Chocolate ice cream and gold. There are also some things that are out forever on the Lassiter list, which they didn't come up with. VD, obviously, and Oral Roberts. Now, I thought that maybe it might be reasonable this afternoon, if you people are in the right spirit, the right frame of mind, and if the office party hasn't started yet and you're too plastered to get to the phone and dial, that you might want to add to the list of things that will be in for 1988 and out for 1988, or in for infinity or out forever.
I really like your show, and I ran out.
You like my show, but what way is that to start a conversation?
Oh, my God. You were talking about tasty cakes. I didn't know what they were till I saw them in the store the other day.
Yeah.
My mother used to buy those for us. We'd use them as slingshot bait. They're terrible. They look like flying saucers with stuff in them.
I suppose you like Twinkies, Hostess Twinkies.
Lost soul food. Yeah, I like Hostess Twinkies.
You're probably a native Floridian, aren't you, Paul?
No.
Then you must be from Indiana. From New York? No way.
Yeah, I'm from New York.
No way.
New York City.
Whereabouts in New York?
Watertown.
Oh, my God, I know where Watertown is.
You been there?
Yes, I've been through it.
Oh, you didn't...
I used to live in Utica.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I know where Watertown is.
Italian bread in Utica, too.
Watertown, it's a town of about 5,000 people out in the middle of nowhere.
35,000.
Oh, give me a break.
It has 35. It's growing every day.
Oh, yeah, if you count each person as 5, it might have 35,000. It's out in the middle of nowhere. That town was dead before the Civil War.
The town died maybe 5 years ago, and it's growing every day now.
Oh, yeah, right, sure. It's the only place I know of where, the main mode of transportation is mule-drawn barges.
We don't have a canal up there.
Oh, that dried up, too?
We got the Black River.
The mighty Black River.
Yeah, it's a great river, too.
Well, no wonder you didn't have tasty cakes in Watertown. Who's going to drive all the way to Watertown with a load of tasty? There's nothing between there and, the great burg of Utica.
Excuse me, our great grocery stores up there had those things. We bit into them, Bob, and they look like yellow flying saucers with chocolate something on them, and they were gross.
Oh.
And when I saw it, I went, my hero.
Well, we know that you don't have any taste. You were born and raised in Watertown, and when it came time to get out, what did you do? You moved to Clearwater.
What are you tell me I have no taste?
Yes.
Well, you came down.
That's a different story.
Why?
It's a long story, but it's a different story.
And when you were,
I didn't come here of my own free will.
You want to know what's good? Do you really want to know what's good? And
from a kid from Watertown, I should want to know what's good?
And, and I really thought you were kidding about pretzels and ice cream.
Kidding about pretzels and ice cream?
I really thought that was a joke. You really eat it.
Are you trying to cause me to have a stroke on the last day of the year?
You really are, Bob, I can't believe you really eat pretzels and ice cream. I thought it was a joke. I mean, I said, Pam, you got to come and listen to this.
Yeah, you come from a town where they have Genesee beer. Everybody knows what Genesee beer is. You take a ladle, you go down to Lake Erie.
How can you destroy Jenny beer? Jenny Cream Ale.
Oh.
Jenny Cream Ale is
phooey.
good.
Phooey.
I drink Black Label, too. Once in a while.
Yeah, Black Label, dipped right out of the Black River.
Well, what do you think is good? Budweiser?
Leave it sit there for 3 days in the sun to ferment, chill it, and drink it.
But you've been camping up there. Oh, the Black River's nice.
Hey, cool people don't drink beer for openers. Cool people don't drink beer.
Well,
cool people drink Black Russians. It's another thing that's in for 88. Black Russians are in for 88.
And Kahlua and licorice.
No, just no. Just Kahlua and vodka.
Well, I know, but you put licorice or anisette in to make it dark. I know.
No, you don't. The Kahlua is dark. You don't put anything else in it. Just Kahlua and vodka.
That's another thing. Why do they call it a Black Russian? It looks brown. But, I mean, anybody, I guess, that would eat tasty. I gave my son a tasty cake the other day. You know what he did with it? You want to know what he did with it?
Be careful here. Be careful here.
Let me tell you what he did with it, right? He put it outside to catch fire ants. He didn't catch one. I mean, Bob, I'm really disappointed. I don't want to destroy your campaign to get everybody to try tasty cake.
I would have really been upset with this call had you said, that you were from, someplace reasonable, but Watertown...
Well, Watertown happens to be the hub of Jefferson County, New York.
Not far from Tupper Lake.
Nice place.
Oh, yeah, great place, yeah.
You been up there?
Yeah, my ex-father-in-law grew up in Tupper Lake. And this is true. They used to come out into and out of Tupper Lake on a stagecoach as late as 1940.
Well, yeah, but
they didn't even have any roads to Tupper Lake.
Well, there are now. I mean, it's got the only...
Yeah, two-lane blacktop road.
It's got the only bobsled run in North America in Lake Placid.
Yeah, I know. They call it Main Street.
Oh, you are funny. But when you go back up there, I'll tell you what's really good is Krogan bologna. Did you eat Krogan bologna?
Krogan bologna?
Don't tell me you don't like it.
What do you mean? You
can only get it in northern New York.
I've got a job. I don't have to eat bologna.
Krogan bologna is not really bologna. It's good. It's a spiced sausage. It's only made in Krogan, New York. And you want to know where Krogan is? It was just a little bit northwest of Utica.
Never heard of Krogan.
Never heard of Krogan?
No, I didn't really.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a place where they make...
But I've got a job, man. I don't have to eat bologna. I eat boiled ham.
It's Krogan bologna. $6-something a pound.
$6-something a pound?
Oh, yeah. It's great.
You guys from Watertown really ain't too swift. You pay $6 a pound for bologna?
Krogan bologna.
No wonder you can't afford roads.
Maybe that's why we don't eat tasty cakes, but I just want the people to know. I mean, I was really disappointed. I couldn't believe that's what hell, I went down and I looked for it, but I said...
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Well, Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you, too. You know what I mean? Hey, Philadelphia Phil. Hi, you're on the air at WFLA.
Who was that clod that drank that stuff from upstate New York that actually came out of a buffalo's you-know-what?
Water.
That there's a God, and it reminded me, this is not a serious thing, but it reminded me of a cartoon I saw many years ago. It's a goldfish bowl, and there's two goldfish having a theological discussion, and one of them says to the other, if there's no God, who changes the water?
Thank you, Don. Marion in St. Petersburg. Hi, Marion.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing?
Marion. I'm calling from...
St. Petersburg.
The home.
Petersburg.
The home.
Right. The home?
The home.
What, did the attendant leave the phone unattended again?
You got it.
Oh.
I'm sitting here playing with my crayons.
Don't hurt yourself now, Marion.
Look, hey, I'm sitting on the counter here, cross-legged, waiting for you to come, all right?
Oh, it sounds exciting. Preferably. Grits are acceptable.
It's also great with tomato soup.
Yeah, except I never liked tomato soup.
Oh, that's too bad, because it really makes an ugly-looking mess.
Yeah, I know my family used to eat tomato soup and do the same thing, because obviously that's where I picked it up from my family.
Did they ever take a mouthful, open the mouth, and stick the tongue out?
I can't recall any of them doing it, but considering some of the members of my family, I'm sure they may have.
It'll gross everybody out. It's really fantastic. Also, I lived up on Greensburg Pike.
Okay, I lived in Squirrel Hill. Hastings and Reynolds was the intersection.
I know where Squirrel Hill is.
That was literally Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Mr. Rogers lived around the corner from me.
All right.
Fred Rogers.
Listen, I got to talk to you about cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Anyone in Philly, I don't know, they got to be brain damaged to use American cheese on a cheesesteak.
What do you mean? That's what you're supposed to use.
Provolone is the only cheese you can use on a cheesesteak. Got to be provolone.
Where are you from?
Buffalo.
Oh, of course you're brain damaged. Too much snow.
And talk about hot
Provolone
dogs.
cheese.
Hot dogs, if you...
If you guys want to talk about shoveling snow, then I'll say, okay, you know what you're talking about.
Hot dogs can only be charcoal broiled, as in Ted's in Buffalo.
And anybody that comes from a town where they get off on eating chicken wings.
Well, chicken wings and got to be roast beef on wick, too. Have you ever had a roast beef on wick?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Obviously. Listen, you have a copy of today's Tampa Tribune?
Not in front of me, but yeah, here on the station.
On the second page in the food section, okay, right inside the second page of the food section, they talk about roast beef on wick, and they have a recipe for Kimmelwick rolls.
Well, what is a wick?
It's a Kimmelwick roll. A Kimmelwick roll is a crusty, hard roll that, at best, is something like texture of a good Cuban bread.
Wait a second. My producer has just walked in the studio, and she is, supposedly from Buffalo. Do you have any idea what this man is talking about?
Beef on wick is like the best thing in the world.
The only thing.
Oh, wait a minute. You said it almost as one word. Beef on wick.
It is all one word.
Like a French word or something, meaning bordello or.
Wick is actually weck, which is short for Kimmelwick.
Right.
Which is a particular kind of roll. It's almost like a Kaiser bun, only it's got...
But you guys eat chicken wings.
Well, they can keep their chicken wings. I'll be real honest with you.
Oh, no, wings are great.
Well, they were good down at the Anchor Bar, which is where they originated, but then everybody else got in on the act, and it got all greasy.
It's work eating those things.
But it was a great entrepreneurial thing that was originated at this restaurant in downtown Buffalo where they used to throw out all the chicken wings because they couldn't use them in chicken cacciatore, and then they came up with this wonderful idea. And it's all over the place, and it's a good thing Buffalo is not known for, potato chips.
Well,
because you'd have all these restaurants that said Buffalo chips.
Now tell me something. Is there anything like a good Ted's charcoal broiled hot dog?
There's not. Well, Pat's is good, too.
Oh, Pat's, too.
And we've probably just lost, 3/4 of the audience since they have no clue what we're talking about.
The hell with the audience. So the problem is we're about to lose McHenry. This is a fascinating conversation, but if I don't get to Gary McHenry, he's going to sulk.
Bob, have a good one.
Be good. Gary McHenry sulking with a WFLA traffic report soon.
Yeah. Let me hold a beef on wick and a 5-way. We have had a couple of...
You people should not pay any attention whatsoever to that last caller. You have to keep in mind he comes from Buffalo. They spend a lot of winters snowed in up there, and you don't put provolone cheese on a cheesesteak. B in Port Richey. Hi, B. You're on the air, WFLA.
Hi, Bob. You're talking to the world's worst glutton for punishment. Here I've been waiting on this toll call this while for you, and you're punishing me. I'm from McKees Rocks and talking about all that good food, Italian.
McKees Rocks, is that anywhere near McKees Port?
Nah, that's down on the Ohio, south of Pittsburgh.
Here, Gannon, to you and Mary and the dog, Sophie.
Okay.
I'll talk to you again, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sophie, by the way, is spending New Year's Eve at the kennel today. Vaughn, there's one line open. It's in. You're all excited, but it is your turn now.
Hello?
Hi, Sam.
Hello, Reverend Lester. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Listen, I wanted to commend the Tampa Police Department for getting the Ghostbuster the other day. And
okay.
I heard a lot about him that was bragging. I've been trying to root that thing for a long time. Also, I think the predictions for Tampa, in a way, I think A is going to be a big thing coming up. Because every time I drive down Palm Avenue and around Nebraska, this prostitutes is loading up the place. So I see A's as one of the big things here in Tampa. Sadly to say. And then when I go out to visit the young people, and everyone's having sex, and it seems like nobody's caring these days, and it's a sad situation. So my prediction is that A is going to be a big factor. And I think a lot of marriages are going to start getting back together because they're going to start running around on their wives for a while and kind of stay home. So I'm predicting that families will stay together a little more, hopefully, because of AIDS. And I thank God for AIDS, in a way, because it's decreasing homosexuality, hopefully, and it's kind of cleaning up some of the
You thank God for AIDS.
Yes, thank God for AIDS.
Oh, okay.
It's making the world better, and in its own way. There's a rose has thorns on it, but yet it's a rose. It's still the sweet and sour come with it. The good part of it that is making us more aware, and it's cutting out.
Rid of the faggots, yeah.
Pardon?
Cutting down on the faggots.
Well, I don't call them faggots. I think homosexuality sometimes is an inherited trait.
Well, I mean, come on, anybody that thanks God for a deadly disease, like, why are you going to split hairs now? And I don't want to call them faggots. Come on, really get down in the gutter.
Well, it's not the faggots, man. Like it's
somebody that thanks God for a disease that kills people. Why are you going to pretend now to be a decent man and not want to use slang?
I just thank God that it's something that's going to stop us from. It's slowing us down. We was doing it anyway. We was running around, carrying on. So I said, this has slowed us down, made us start thinking twice. It's helping us. It's helping the young people. Young people at school. I talked to some young kids the other day. They said, no, I don't want to have sex because of the fact of AIDS. So I said, evidently it's doing something good. There's something good in everything. So the good part that's coming out of this is that it's making people be more aware, think twice before they zip down the zipper, before she pull out her panties. I think they're going to start thinking twice. And this AIDS has made that. Not the thing of, I don't like to call them fags. Some of them cannot help themselves. But to make them not being so promiscuous, running around from man to man and woman to woman, etc., with heterosexuals. And I know a lot of people have gotten their home life kind of in order due to the fact of AIDS. So I think that's a good factor. I mean, the catastrophic part of it is that it kills people, but in the other side of it...
Yeah, details, I know.
Yeah. So I think that should make sense, the AIDS factor. But I'm saying it's going to be in Tampa because, and plus we letting them run so rampant. I mean, we know all them prostitutes down there, and I don't know...
Speak for yourself, Sam, I don't.
I mean, you go down, when you ride down the road, I don't know if you go through Tampa, go through that area, you might stay on the upper half side, never come on this side of town, down this way. But when you come over to the real world over here, you'll see they're running the streets. Every time you pull your car through, come knock on your window, say, can I get a ride somewhere one day? You can't really go through the areas and stuff unless someone knock on your door and say, hey, you want to buy a nickel bag, you want a quarter bag? That's the real world in this area. Maybe you ought to ride over there sometime and get a taste of it. Because over there...
I'm aware of the real world, Sam.
I know what's really happening. I mean, not exactly the real world. I'm just saying things that are really happening. You're coming down 22nd College Hill, per se, go in that area, and really see what's, because people just sit up there and talk about it a lot, but really never know what it is to be down there and know what's going on. There's a lot of things going on in that area. You ride down the street, and before you can get to the next corner, you got about 5 or 6 of them at your door. Especially you being a white guy, you go through there and you have 5 or 6 of them coming to your window. Say, hey, you want something? You need something, man? Can I help you with something? And you can't get through from one corner to the next without that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. When you leave from over there in Carrollwood and West Shore areas and stuff, and cars coming down this way, and you start seeing a different change. There's cities within Tampa.
I'm aware of that, Sam.
And I just drove from one into the next, and I saw just there's like several countries in one little area. The diversified areas just changed so rapidly. I went to one area, the next one, and I found it just changed so rapidly due to the economy. And I found out that money makes a difference, I guess, the green part. And I heard the mayor say one thing she wants, that's why I like this mayor that we have. She says she want to make Tampa an opportunity place for everyone.
Well, Sam, I really appreciate your taking time out of your busy schedule of thanking God for AIDS to call us this afternoon on the program. Your rap, if you get my drift. Let us go to Lonnie on Davis Island. Hi, Lonnie.
Hello, Bob. This is Lonnie.
On Davis Island.
Yes.
Then it comes time for the Eagles game.
Ah, yes.
And you sit in front of the telly with your kosher pickles, like you can't get in the jar, and your pepperoni. You might even have a cheesesteak.
Well, you also forgot at the same time when you're in there getting all of the goodies for the Eagles game on Sunday, you can give the woman behind the counter a piece of paper with 3 numbers written on it and a quarter, and maybe go back on Monday and get some money.
Ah, you devil, you.
Well, it's true.
That's true, yes.
I still prefer the plain chocolate cupcakes and the plain lemon and apple tasty pies.
Ooh.
Preferably all three at the same time.
Yeah.
Shove them all in there. Half a gallon of cold milk.
Yeah,
and a glass bottle.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh. It's just sitting there on the table and it's sweating and
Oh, Lord. They always had these things hung up on strings that ran above the counter, and they would get, I guess, a white mold on them.
Oh, God.
And that's the kind he'd buy. He said that's when the ling, ding, 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 diddly, ling, ding, 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 ding. I couldn't stand it myself.
Golden slippers, them golden slippers.
I could take about a half hour of that, and then I'd switch to Bugs Bunny or something.
Well, if I were living in Philadelphia tomorrow, I swear to you, I would be, I'm not saying glued to the set, but the set would be on, television set would be on all day with that horrible, horrible combination of saxophones and banjos.
Yes.
Because it's just one of those things you have to do. It's just part of living there.
Yeah, my folks will be watching it.
And I will admit I would be kind of hoping against hope that maybe the Polish-American String Band would win this year. And I do guarantee you that when they were announced coming up Broad Street, I would drop whatever it is I was doing and run to the chair and sit down, and my eyes would be glued to the screen rather, as they did their presentation before the judges' reviewing stand. I will admit to that.
Okay, wait, I'm not done. Did you really drown a cat in another station?
Of course.
Do you regret it?
Do I regret it?
Yeah.
No. Got me calls, a lot of them.
Well, then maybe it would be good if we did have different gods.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Of course, I didn't drown a cat. Give me a break. I really drowned a cat at the other station. What I did is I had a cart with cat sounds on it. And I came in that afternoon and I said, if you people don't call me, I found this little cat called Fluffy. And if you don't call me, I'm going to dunk Fluffy in a bucket of water. And I was inundated with calls from basically little old Italian women saying things like, I'm going to come over and hit you over the head with a rolling pin for what you're doing to that poor little kitty. Listen to him, listen to him. But if anybody asks, yes, I did. But the truth of the matter is, no, I didn't. 2 more hours yet to go. Please, whatever you do, don't venture very far. I need you.
They would converse with one another, and this man would talk about the Lord, and this other man would run him down. Oh, there's no God. There's no God. So one time this religious man, this is very true, Bob, this religious man said to him something about talking to a snake. And this here sinner said to him, he said, he said, I'd rather have snakes crawl over my dead body than to believe that story. And they put a monument up there after the man died. They had a statue of him in the cemetery. And believe it or not, that is the only grave that snakes crawled in and out of. Do you believe this?
No.
Well, it's the God's truth because I saw it, Bob, with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, you don't have to. But
that's okay, I don't.
You don't? Well,
no.
The story I told you is a God's truth because there's a written right on the monument, and I can't give you the direct thing, but it was about this man that not believing this other man about talking to God. And the snakes that in the cemetery, that was the only place where the snakes crawled in and out.
Well, I'd be so much more impressed, if God cured cancer as opposed to making snakes crawl in and out of somebody's grave.
Well,
that doesn't impress me at all.
That's just a coincidence. I might tell you one more short one. There was 2 guys in East Liverpool, Ohio. I used to live in West Virginia, in Chester, West Virginia, but there was 2 guys in East Liverpool, Ohio, was tarring a roof on a garage. It was known as Trotter Chevrolet Company. And they was up there and started raining this one day, and it was coming down pretty good. And this one guy said, let's get in out of the rain. He said, oh, no. He said, I'm not afraid of the rain. He said, there's no lightning. He said, well, God will strike you with lightning. He said, there ain't no God. Well, the guy got hit with lightning up there, and the other
guy did. Son of a gun, huh?
So these are coincidences that I'm telling you. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, Bob, have a nice New Year's. And like I say, I hope you enjoy these tapes because they're really good.
Okay, Bill.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, Bob.
Yeah.
I just like everyone out there to know that the Bob Lassiter Show is communist propaganda.
27 minutes. Poor old Joe held on for that. 27 minutes. What would Joe know about communist propaganda anyway? Al in Madeira Beach. Hi, Al. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Hey, I'm from Detroit.
Yes.
Big deal, right?
Well, yeah, it's fine with me.
Hey,
I almost went to work a couple of times in Detroit.
On what stations?
WXYT, the talk station, was the last nibble from Detroit, and prior to that, whatever the beautiful WJOI, I guess it is, or JOY, the beautiful music station years and years ago.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's the station I listen to, WXYT, the talk forums.
Mm-hmm.
When did you work there? What year?
No, I didn't work there. I toyed with the idea, and they toyed with the idea of me about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we just had a big forum change up there.
They did?
Yeah, and well, the midday talk show host, who I tell you, you're such a different forum to listen to than what we have up there. You know, up there we talk about the Constitution and crack cocaine. Crack is a big deal up there. So every day we're talking about crack. And AIDS we always talk about AIDS up there. Same thing every day. You know?
Well, they had some interest in me, but I think I scared them.
After hearing you, I know why you're not up there. There's no question at all. There was
also a considerable difference in what I was worth from what they thought and what I thought.
Oh yes, I can imagine.
Considerable difference in what.
Well, there's just a small station up there. There's still, you don't rush your callers. Up there, we have 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes at most to say what we have to. So everybody starts their conversation up before my time runs out.
Not really. I'm not overly interested in having anybody on my show who wants to be on my show.
Yeah, see, that's a big thing up there.
Well, that's the easy way out, to sit there and talk to somebody who's written a book and they basically do the show. And I'm not really coming down on somebody for doing that, but it's the easy way out.
That billboard you have? You have a billboard up with a gun on it?
Mm-hmm.
And we had one of those up. WXYT put one of those up, and they had a counter on it.
Yeah, for every murder.
For every murder.
In a year.
Did you guys talk about that down here? Did it make news down here?
Did it make news? Well, it was in the newspaper. I don't recall really anybody talking about it. I am aware of the fact that they did it, because they did it right around the same time I was talking with them.
So that's when you were talking to them about it?
Yeah, so I even knew before it went up because they had told me about it. They were, trying to entice me as, employees do with each other in that mating dance. They were telling me about all the various different promotional ideas they had and what they did and what they were doing and what they were going to do. And so, yeah, I knew about it. And it was in the newspapers down here.
Oh, God, he's doing that again? Jesus Christ, why does he do that?
Yes. This is such a diverse business. Let me share this letter with you. It comes from the Public Communications Incorporated. It is addressed to Bob Lassiter, midday host, WFLA, 801 East Jackson Street. Dear Mr. Lassiter, thanks to fluoride and other advances in dental care, many children today will never experience tooth decay, but other dangers still threaten children's teeth. Every year, many teeth are damaged or lost through accidents, such as the hockey puck that got away or the skateboard that slipped from beneath the feet. February is National Children's Dental Health Month, and the American Association of Dentists, it's not really what it says, I can't make out the word, has some tips for parents for keeping children's teeth safe and healthy. The enclosed tip sheet offers advice on how to protect children's teeth from injuries, what to do in the event of a broken, chipped, or dislodged tooth, and how to get immediate relief for severe toothache. Step-by-step instructions on how to save a tooth that has been knocked out of the socket also is enclosed. I would be happy to arrange an interview with a local spokesperson. I will call you in a few days to see if we can arrange an interview. Thanks, Freak. I'm going to keep this letter, and the next time you guys give me a hard time, without calls or something, I'm going to keep that letter for when you guys don't respond the way you're supposed to.
Now here's more with WFLA's Bob Lassiter.
I wanted to ask you or tell you something about the question you had yesterday about does God exist and can you prove it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a cold?
Yeah, I have.
Can you prove it?
What do you mean, can I prove it?
Can you prove you've ever had a cold?
Yeah, I can bring somebody in who was with me when I did.
And what would they say?
that he had a cold.
You would have a runny nose and a sore throat, or he didn't feel good, but you couldn't prove you had a cold?
I had what we commonly call a cold.
But you can't prove it. You could tell me that you
Don't try to dazzle me with your illogical logic. Come on, give me a break.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do, is get the break. Same thing with a bad back. How many people has collected from insurance companies with a bad back that they never had? They just said, I think I got a bad back. And there are questions that can't be proved, yes or no. And the question you ask cannot be proved in a way that would satisfy you.
Well, Oscar, you see, I'm very well aware of that fact, and the entire point of the program was, if you can't prove to me that there is a God, then do not ask me to put God's rules into my laws.
Look, I realize that a lot of us Christians, not me, but a lot of Christians would want to push their religion on you. Believe me, Bob, that's the last thing I want to do is push that on you. I wouldn't want to do that. But the whole point I'm getting at is that some questions cannot be proved to your satisfaction.
I'm very well aware of that. You can't prove there's a God.
And that was one of them. The other thing I'd like to say to all the Christians out there listening, and again, this is not a put down to you, Robert, it's just you get the best of these people so good. And I guess that's why even I, as a Christian, like listening to you. If people would sit back and listen to really everything that's going on, I'd like to make this quick little statement here. Last week, Robert told us that he believes in Santa Claus. So when he's given us all these in-depth dealings with the Bible and this intelligent decisions, just remember that it comes from a man that says himself he believes in Santa Claus, which I would also assume that he believes in the Easter Bunny and Mother Goose.
No, not the Easter Bunny and Mother Goose, only Santa Claus.
How come you don't believe in the Easter Bunny and Mother Goose, Bob? Or Robert, I'm sorry.
You can call me whatever you'd like, because I have no proof of them.
Oh, you don't have any proof?
No, but I do have proof of Santa Claus.
You do?
Sure, I explained it.
You did? I didn't hear the explanation of how you proved there is a Santa Claus.
Well, it's rather lengthy. I can't really go all through it, but I'd be delighted to just kind of give you a thumbnail sketch. You see, there's a great deal of misunderstanding about just what it is and just exactly who it is that this Santa Claus is purported to be. There's a great deal of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that think that Santa Claus gives all the gifts, and that simply is not true.
That's true, but there's also a great misunderstanding on who God is, and I believe that you are. I can't wait for your big show when you do the preaching, because I'm going to hear some more of these misunderstandings that a lot of people that read the Bible as you do have come up with.
Oh, I don't think. I think you will find that I am not the one who misunderstood. I think you'll find that I'm the only one who does understand.
Oh, I get it.
In that show.
I get it. Well, obviously, I would not try to prove to you there is a God or prove that you understand the Bible, because if we took a man like Cal Thomas that was on here last week and he couldn't prove it to you, I would not even attempt to do that. But I just wanted, I think maybe that would help out some of the Christians that rather than get mad at Bob, he's a good old boy probably. He's probably a good person to have for a friend. Probably would do a lot of things for you, and he's probably not as mean and gruff and abrasive in person as he is on the air. Probably a nice guy. But just remember that when you hear these things, it's coming from a guy that believes in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny.
Not the Easter Bunny, only Santa Claus.
That's all I wanted to tell you.
Well, now, wait a second. Let's get this straight now. Only Santa Claus. I do not believe in the Easter Bunny.
Well, even at that, just they can take it with that. So when Robert says all these things with his great intelligence, and when he tells you all these things he's read in the Bible, and why he believes what he believes, just take it that he himself tells you he believes in Santa Claus, so don't get mad when he tells you don't believe in God.
Thank you, Oscar.
All right, Robert.
Bye-bye. One line available.
Wait, besides that, from the age of 12, I had a brother and a sister. And from age 12 to about 18, they never did it, but I did. I get saltine crackers and crunch them into the ice cream.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, that's terrible.
But I didn't know about the pretzels.
Pretzels? I don't know. That makes sense.
I don't know.
Saltine crackers on your ice cream.
Right, saltine crackers with chocolate ice cream.
No, you put saltine crackers, you crunch them up in your chicken noodle soup.
No, in ice cream.
No, it's supposed to be chicken noodle soup with saltines.
And the sweetness.
I mean, you put so many saltines in your chicken noodle soup that you don't have soup anymore. All you have is mush.
Well, I never went for that.
Oh, that's good.
But anyway, mostly Sabrett. I lived in New York for a while, and it seems like most of the Sabrett hot dogs are green.
Green?
I don't know, a little old or whatever. The poor quality. Have you heard of Maple Leaf hot dogs?
Maple Leaf? No, I can't say as I have.
They're up in New England. They're good.